The fox Confessor is a character I read about in Russian folklore, and he somehow kind of ties into the basic theme of the record, which is just about losing your faith in all kinds of ways. Individually, the songs were written without thinking about each other or about that, but they all end up with that theme in the end. I'm really interested in Russian and Ukrainian folktales. Eastern Europeans have a really absurd, funny sense of death. Almost everybody in the stories die, but they don't actually die. They just end up, they might do something stupid and end up knitting sweaters in the belly of the wolf for all eternity. Those folktales are tied to songs, and the Eastern European languages are very sing-songy in the first place. Most Russian fairy tales have a section where they repeat something, very much like the 12 Days of Christmas. And then he ate the baby goats, and then he washed it down with blood, and then they all sang songs of woe. And so they'll say something like that a few times, like a spell or a chant, and that's how they make the grandmother resurrect, or money out of dust, or cut the baby goats out of the wolf's stomach to frolic again, But it's all done with a very graceful, matter-of-fact sense of humor. I write a song, sometimes it happens in like 15 minutes, and sometimes it happens over the course of a couple of years. I'm always writing down ideas or recording little things on the tape recorder, and then I'll listen back to those things and try to figure out which things go together, or if certain things work with others. It's all pretty collage style and homemade, really. It's not really typical songwriting, I don't think, but what is, I don't know. I'm sure country and gospel both inspire it. I never think about it while it's happening, though. Like later on, I could maybe look back at something 3 years later and listen to the way I sang something and think that it might resemble a gospel chorus or a chord progression or something, but I never think about it at the time. Like, basically, I'm just dog paddling as hard as I can to write an actual song that sounds like a song. And I've given up a lot of control over the past few years, and I've decided to not stick with typical song structure when it just doesn't seem to be necessary. Like, I don't feel the need to verse, chorus, verse, chorus, verse, chorus. I kind of like to get in and say what I have to say and get out now without repeating things too much. But I think the instrumentation and the sentiment and the emotion is definitely what I strive for. I feel like this record I just made is about losing your faith in every possible way, which seems to me the most American feeling there is these days, which really breaks my heart. But maybe when you thought you've burned it all away, maybe there's some small atom of faith left after all. I don't know.